Hello everyone, welcome to the Flutist Programmer, where code and music meet creativity. And today, I'm going to show you how can you build a Pomodoro Timer app. So if you want to study or you want to focus on a specific task without any distractions, this is the app that you need to build. If you like the video and you want to see more tutorials like this, don't forget that you can help me by hitting the like button, subscribe, and share with your family and friends. It will be a huge help for the channel, the Flutist Programmer, and it will be allowing me to provide you more melodies as the ones that I use on my covers. Also, if you have any questions, don't forget that you can make a post on the comment section and I will be more than happy to help you. Before we dive into the coding session, I'm going to give you a light demo of how the app looks like, so in this way you know what you are going to be building with me today. Let's go to the monitor. The app that we are going to be building today is a Pomodoro timer. So this app is commonly used when you want to study or you want to focus on a specific task. And basically what you do is that you divide your study on different chunks. So let's say that, for example, here as we see on this example, you want to study 25 minutes and then you want to take another 10 minutes to take a break. What you do is that you put the timer and you start focusing on those 25 minutes without any distraction, and once it reaches the end, in this case it will be firing an alarm, and then you just take another 10 minutes as a break and then you start again the same process. So what we have on this app is we have a heading here that says Pomodoro timer, then we have a label here with an input that is of type number, where we can set the time that we want for the study. Then we have here 3 buttons: the start, pause, and reset. And then we have here a toggle that says dark mode. So as you see, we can toggle the dark mode on and off. So if you want to see with white, use in this case toggle the toggle off, and then if you want the dark mode, you just put it on, and that's it. So also for the purpose of the video, since I don't want you guys to wait that much, I'm going to set the time to 1 minute, and I'm going to just cut so that you will see that when it reaches out to the end, it will be firing an alarm. So let's put the 1 here, then we can click on set here. Good. And now let's click on start. I will pause the video and then I will just show you again once it reaches out to 0, so you may see that it will be firing an alarm. Okay, so now let's see. And you see, that's the alarm that will be sounding because it's an MP3 that we have. Good. And the other thing that I wanted to show you is that when you are setting the time here, so for example, let's put 3 minutes or 4, and then I click on set. I click on start here, I can also pause the timer, and if I want, I can reset it to the original time, in this case that was 4. So let's jump to the coding session because we are going to know how this app works in the background. Let's start by creating the folder where we are going to be working on today's project. The name of the folder in my case is Pomodoro Timer app. As you can see here, I always put it on the desktop location. Once you have the folder, we proceed to open on the Visual Studio Code in my case, or the text editor of your choice, and also the browser that you are going to be using on the lesson. In my case, I'm using Google Chrome. Okay, so as you see here, I already have an MP3 on the folder because we are going to be using this alarm clock sound. When the time reaches out to 0, then it will be playing this sound. So in this way, the user knows that the timer is finished and he can take a break on the application. Good. So let's proceed to create the 3 necessary files that we need: index.html, the second one styles.css, and the third one script.js. Good. As you know, we are going to use the exclamation mark, then tap on abbreviation, and we have the dot type structure. Let's do as always, right click and open with Live Server to get the changes here on real time. Good. So let's proceed to change the title of our tab. Let's put Pomodoro timer. Good. I want to reference the CSS file that I have on the styles.css. So let's add a link tag here, rel style sheet, and I want to reference the styles.css. Good. And now inside of the body, we are going to create a div. This div is going to have a class of time input. And inside of this div, we are going to create other HTML tags. The first one is going to be a label for time. And then the content is going to be set time and in minutes. Good. After this, we are going to set an input that is going to be type number. So let's change here to number. I want an ID of time. And I want a min to be 1. And the max I want to be 120. Good. And the value, the initial value is going to be 25. Good. After this, I want a button. This button is going to have an ID of set time, and we have a content of set. Good. After we close this div, we are going to open another one. I want to set the class of timer, and the ID is going to be the same as the class timer, and I want to have a content of 2500. Good. After this, I want to create another div where we are going to be grouping certain buttons. So let's put class buttons. The first button is going to have an ID of start and the same name on the content, start. Let's copy and paste 2 times. The second one is going to be pause. And the third one is going to be reset. Let's change the ID to reset. Good. After this div, we are going to open another div that is going to have a class of toggle container. Toggle hyphen container. Good. I want a label. And this one we are not going to use for. So it's going to have a class of switch. And inside of this label, I want 2 elements, an input and a span. The input is going to be type checkbox. Good. And I want an ID of theme toggle. And for the span, I want the class of slider. Class slider. Good. After this label, I want to set a p tag where we will have as a content dark mode. So this checkbox that you see here that it will be converting a toggle is the one that will allow us to change the theme to be from light to dark. You will see when we reach out to the CSS part. After we have the div closed here, we are going to add an audio element with an ID of alarm sound, and the source is going to reference the mp3 that we have here. So all we do here is just put point and then slash, and we reference to the alarmclock.mp3 that we have on the root location. So there is another thing that I just forgot here, is that we have another div here at the top that is going to be class container, and this div will have also an h1 here at the top. We will have put in Pomodoro timer. Yeah, we were missing this part. Good. So yeah, all that we did here, we are going to put it inside of the div because it's going to be a container. So basically, let's just copy all of this And as you see, I'm putting everything after the H1. Yeah, good. So now we are good to go. And after this, before of closing the body, we are going to inject the script tab. And I want the src to be referencing the script.js. Good. So guys, I hope that you didn't get confused about what I just copy and paste. So basically, what we had before is that we didn't have this div as container, and all that I just did was cutting all of this that was outside of that div. I just put it inside of it. So I hope that you have that completely clear and it doesn't confuse you on the lesson. This concludes the part of the HTML part, so let's jump right now to the CSS styles. We are going to start by declaring certain variables on the root. So let's put here root, because we are going to be reusing certain colors. I'm going to copy and paste the colors, so in this way I don't have any problems with the spellings, and I'm just going to explain you. So this is a way that we have for declaring variables, and basically all these variables that you see here, bg color, text color, btn bg, and btn text, they can be referenced then later on other classes. So in this way we don't need to repeat again all the colors that you have here. So let's assign right now to the body, and then on the dark mode, on the dark mode, I want to set certain colors here. So I will be, in this case, as you see, I will be overriding certain colors that we have when we are on dark mode. I hope that that makes clear. It's nothing that fancy, so I'm just changing the values that we have at the beginning. If we are on dark mode, we are just changing it to other colors that you see here. Good. So let's proceed to give some styles to the body. On the body, I want a font family of Arial, and then if we don't have Arial, we fall back to Helvetica or sans serif. Good. And then I want a background, and we are going to use the bar of BG color, so we just do bar here. Good. And then we put here BG color, so we are referencing the F4 that we have here at the top. Then let's put for the color, I want to reference to the bar of in this case text color. Good. Then I want a display of flex. Good. I want an align items of center, and a justify content to be center as well. I want a high of 100 viewport height to be on the middle, and a transition of background. I wanted to have of 0.3 seconds, and I also want for the color to be of 0.3 seconds. Okay, good. Now I'm going to give some styles to the container class, which is the div that encloses everything, the wrapper. So let's put here test align center. Then I want a padding of 2 rem. I want a border radius of 15 pixels. I want a box shadow of 0, 0, 15 pixels, and then an RGBA that I have here ready. Good. After the box shadow, I want a background where we are going to be using another bar, so we put here bar. I want a BG color. After this, I want a max width for the container to be 400 pixels, and I want a width of 100%. Good. Nice. After this, let's proceed to give some styles to the H1. So for the H1, I just want to assign a margin bottom of 1 rem. Good. Then for the time input, the class of time input, I want a margin bottom of 1.5 rem. Good. And after this, I want to assign classes for the time ID. The time ID is going to have a width of 60 pixels. Then we are going to have a padding of 0.3 rem. We are going to have a border radius of 5 pixels. And we are going to have a border that is going to be 1 pixel, 1 pixel solid, and then the number of the color of CCC. After this, let's proceed to give a text align of center. After this, we are going to set the timer class here, timer. And for the timer, I want a font size of 3 rem. Then I want a margin to be 1 rem and then 0. Good. So for the buttons div, and then inside of those inside of that div, I want to reference all the buttons. Let's put a margin of 0.3 rem. Then I want a padding to be 0.6 rem, and then 1 rem. You know how this works. The first one is for top and bottom, and the next one is for left and right. Then we are going to put a border of none. We want to set some border radius to be 8 pixels. And I want for the background, we are going to reference another variable. So here we are going to use bar. And for the background, let's put btm_bg. Good. For the color, let's put another variable here, and we are going to reference the btn text. Good, which is a white. I want a cursor pointer, and I want some transition here for the hover. So let's put transition, and I want transition for the background of 0.3 seconds with ease. Good. So now the buttons on disabled state, I want them to be to have an opacity of 0.6 and a cursor not allowed. Good. Now for the buttons on hover state, I want to set an opacity of 0.8. So if I hover over the button, you see that there is an opacity over there. Good. Let's proceed right now to give some styles to the toggle container that we have after the buttons here. So let's reference the class toggle container. And on the toggle container, I'm going to set a margin top of 1.5 rem, then a display of flex. Good. I want an align items to be on the center, a justify counter to be on the center too, and I want a gap of 0.5 rem between the label and the checkbox. Good. So now for the switch, we are going to put a position relative, and I want a display to be inline block. I want a width of 50 pixels and a height of 26 pixels. For the input, I want for the input that is inside of the switch, I want a display none. Good. And now for the slider, I want a position of absolute. I want a cursor pointer, an inset of 0, and a background color of CCC, a border radius of 26 pixels, and a transition of 0.4 seconds for everything that we made changes. So now for the slider, I want to declare an element before of the slider, and that's why we are going to be using the position absolute. You will see in a sec. So here we reference the slider, and then we use the before, and here we are going to set position to be absolute. I want the content to be empty, because we don't want any letters. After this, I want a height of 20 pixels. I want a width of 20 pixels. Good. I want a position of left to be 3 pixels. Then bottom to be 3 pixels too. I want a background color to be white. And I want a border radius to be 50%. So in this way we get it to be circle, as you see here. Then I want a transition to be 0.4 seconds. Good. So now I went for the input, yeah, on the check state, on the check status. I wanted to apply something for the slider too. So for the slider, when the input is checked, that means that I want to do something to the slider too. So slider before, I wanted to make a transform, and we are going to do some translation on the y-axis. So let's put translate y-axis, and we want to translate to 24 pixels. So as you see here, we are able to change it. Good. Another thing that that we need to add is that when the input is checked, I want on the slider to be changing the background. So in this way, we know that the toggle is on. So let's put here input, and then on check, I want it for the slider to have a background color of in this case number 2196 F3. So as you see now, good. We are able to change it. And now since the input is checked, that means that we want to change the background of the sliders, and that's why it turns to be blue. And since we are using a transition on all the properties, that's why you see that we have some those smooth movements and it's not abrupt. So this concludes all the part of the CSS, and now let's jump to the script.js to add some interaction and events for this Pomodoro timer to work. We are going to start by gathering some HTML elements by document.getElementById. So let's assign a let and timer display. This time we are using let because we are going to be modifying the values of this element. So time display is going to be equal to document.getElementById, and I want to get the ID of timer. Good. The second is going to be another let, and I want the star btn. It's going to be document.getElementById, and I want the ID of the button that says start. Then I want the pause button, pause btn, document.getElementById, and I want the pause. Then I want the reset button, reset btm document.getElementById, and then here the ID of reset. After this, I want the set time btm, so let's set time btm. We are using camel case. Set time btm document.getElementById, and then I want here set item time. The next one is going to be the time input, so let time input is going to be equal to document.getElementById, and it's going to be the ID of time. The next one is going to be the alarm sound. This is the MP3 that we previously set on the HTML that we have here, the audio with the ID of alarm sound. So let's put here alarm sound camel case document.getElementById, and let's put here alarm sound. Good. And the last one is going to be let theme toggle. This is to change from dark mode to light mode. You will see later. Document.getElementById, and here I want to use the theme toggle. Good. And now I'm going to define other variables that we are going to be using for the timer manipulation. So let's use let countdown. This won't have on the beginning any value. Then let total time is going to be 25 multiplied by 60, because this will be the initial value that we will have. The default, let's put a comment here, default is 25 minutes. Good. And then let remaining time is going to be equal to total time. Good. And then let is running will be equal to false. In the beginning, we won't have the timer running because we need for the user to click on the start. Good. And so now we are going to do some formatting on the time. So let's put here a comment, format time in milliseconds. So let's create a function here. Function is going to be called updateDisplay. And inside of this function, we want to declare let minutes is going to be equal to math operation, math.floor. And I want to calculate the remaining time between 60, which are the seconds that we have in a minute. Then let seconds is going to be equal to remaining time mod 60. Good. And after this, we want to use the timer display that we have here that we got at the top, and then we are going to modify its text content. Text content is going to be equal. We are going to use variables, so we need to use backtips here. And the first one, let's put $sign and brackets. Yeah, good. And here I want to declare a string. We are using the string constructor here, and I want to convert the minutes. And then I want to use a method that is called padStart, and I wanted to do 2 and then 0. So basically what this will be making is that it will be showing 0001, 0002, and then it will be then increasing on the seconds and the minutes. And I everything that I'm doing here is setting the numbers on the first two locations, and then I will be setting on the other two. You will see now. So now that we have the first two here, I need to put double here, and then let's call again another variable that we are going to be getting from a calculation. I want also to make a string conversion here using the string constructor, and I want it for the seconds in this case. And I want to also use a padStart of 2 and with 0. Good. After this, let's start the timer. So let's declare a function. Well, we need to add an event listener for the start btn, this button here. So let's put a comment here, start timer, and let's put the start btn at an event listener that we are going to listen for the click, and then we are going to do something on the callback function here. So the callback function, we are going to be opening an if statement here, and if it is not running, that means that it's on the first time that we are running the timer. So let's put is running to be equal to true, because we are starting to run the countdown. And then let's put the start btn dot disable equal to true. So we are going to disable the button once we start. So in this way, the user can click on it a second time. And then let's put here a countdown is going to be equal to a helper that we are going to use here, that is called setInterval. And here on the setInterval, we are going to make a callback, and then we pass another parameter that is to determine on what time we are going to be executing this. So we are going to put 1000 to reference that we want to execute this callback every second. Then here inside of here, we are going to put the remaining time minus minus, because we are going to be decreasing the time that we have remaining. And then we are going to updateDisplay to get it on the UI, so the user see that is decreasing the time. And here, let's put another if clause that we are going to be if remaining time is less than 0, that means that the countdown is finished. So we need to stop the timer. So we are going to clear the interval, and here we are going to clear the interval of the countdown. So that means that we are clearing here of the function that is running every second. We are going to clear that here, so we don't have any memory leaks. And then here for the alarm sound, I want to manipulate the volume to be equal to point A. And then I want to play the alarm, so let's put alarm sound.play. Good. We are going to set the variable of is running equal to false. And then let's put a start btn disable to be equal to false, because since the timer is finished, that means that we can start again the timer whenever we want. Okay, so now we need to declare an event listener to the pause button. So let's put here pause timer, and here on the pause timer, let's call the pause btn and then add an event listener. Also, we are going to be listening for the click, and we are going to do something here. Good. And here I want to clear the interval and the interval of the countdown. Good. Now let's set is running to is going to be equal to false, and start btn dot disable is going to be equal to false, because if we pause, that means that we can then start again. Okay. Here right now, let's proceed to add an event listener for the reset timer. So let's put here a comment, reset timer. So reset btn dot add event listener. Want also to listen for the click and callback function here. put set timer, and then let's put a clear interval, and I want it for the countdown as well. Good. And then the remaining time is going to be equal to the total time, because we are setting again the initial value that we have because we are resetting. Then I want to update the display, and let's set the variable of is running to false because we are starting again. And then the start btn the disable, I want it to set it to false because we are starting again. And now we want to declare a function, another event listener for the set custom time. So let's set here, let's add an event listener for the set button that we have here. So let's set time btn dot add event listener. I also want to listen for the click, and then on the callback do something here. So for the set time here, I want to get the minutes, like minutes is going to be equal to parse int. I'm converting here the values that I get from the time input value. So here I'm calling the time input dot value. Good. And here we are going to do an if. So if minutes and minutes is greater than 0 and minutes is less than or equal to 120, that means that we are going to do something here. So on the total time, I want to set it to that time. So let's put total time is going to be equal to the minutes that I'm passing plus 60. Good. Then I want the remaining time to be equal to the total time. Good. And here I want to clear the interval of countdown because we don't know if maybe we are running the timer previously and we want to clear that interval. So here I'm going to clear the interval for the countdown. Good. And then I want to update the display. Let's put is running equal to false, and the start btn dot disable to be equal to false. Good. And else, if this criteria is not met, that means that I want to set an alert here, and let's put something like please enter a valid number between 1 and 120. Good. So now let's add an event listener for the dark toggle that we have here. So let's put here dark toggle, dark mode toggle. Good. And here let's put the theme toggle. Yeah. Add event listener, and we are going to listen on the change. Let's put the callback function, and here on the change I want to add a class to the body, document.body.classlist, and toggle. I want to toggle the class of dark mode. This is the class that we added at the top here on the CSS file. So we are going to be toggle on and off this class if we click here. I'm going to show you in a sec when we get done with the JavaScript part. And for the last here, I want to call the update display because we want to initialize. So let's put here initialize, and let's call the update display to get the first value at the time of rendering. So this concludes the JavaScript file part, and now let's jump to test the application after the coding. If we found any issues or something, we are going to be debugging in real time. So in this way, you get the experience of how you can solve the issues. So now I'm going to set the timer here to be 1 minute. Good. Let me just click here on set. For example, if I want to change to dark mode, you see that's working. Good. And let's proceed right now to click on the star. And this will be setting the timer as you see here. So if by some reason I want to pause, I can pause and then click on start again to resuming the time. Good. And if I want to reset, you see now that it was reset to the 1 minute. Now the last thing that we need to check is that the alarm sound is being triggered when the time is reaching to 0. So what I'm doing to do here is just start the timer, and here I'm going to pause the video and then just wait until it reaches out almost to the 0. So in this way we can test that it's working. So we have 5 seconds left here. Let's wait. Okay, so let's see what's happening because it should be triggering that thing. Okay, so type error alarm sound on play is not a function. So let's go to script.js on line 35. Oh yes, so here it should be play, not on play. Good. So yeah, let's test again. I'm going to set the timer to be 1. Set, then I'm going to put the dark mode here and then just start here. Good. I'm going to pause again the video and see that it works when it almost reaches to 0. Let's hope that it works this time. And there you go, guys. Yeah, the alarm song is working. So in this way, the user will know that the timer is done, and he can take a break from it. So this is all the application, guys. I hope that you have liked it, and I hope to see you on the next video. If you want to continue learning, you can see more of my videos on this area here. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye!